tunic plus the snapdragons and the same grasp and Arcanite. Yeah. All right. Let's get this going. Looks like we got a Weave Lightning, 2 Weave Lightnings in hand here. It's going to play one out here. Play out the second one. Make it an embodiment. Arsenal pass. Okay, so just a setup turn from Pudding.
I really like that play. I think the card that he arsenaled was a Lightning Surge.
Yep.
And then he kept the Scar for Scar in his hand, so he can take some damage this turn, and then just have another attack with built-in go again. I actually love that play.
Mm-hmm. So he's gonna want to find a attack that does not have go again, because the Lightning Surge from the Arsenal is gonna have go again. It's gonna eat the embodiment. So maybe he has like an Arcanic Crackle or something like that to play it out. All right, on the other side we have Bun. Going with a
Be a red Come to Fight on top
yep.
of a Ghostly Visits for 7 with go again from the Shackle.
Yep. A decent chunk of damage here.
And then more than likely, we'll just see a Sword Swing after, and then Arsenal the last card.
Yep.
With no on-hit effect, unless the Briar player just has and no embodiment, unless just
Unless he
a
can't play his
useless
whole
card
hand
in his
out.
hand.
Yep.
Right, exactly. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's the only way we get a block here.
And a chance that he has a useless card with the embodiment of lightning on the field is next to none here. So
Right.
looks like he's just planning out his turn,
And
and he's probably not blocking here. Looks like he's passing to reactions here. It's going to eat the 7 damage, drop down to 33. I'm going to come in for 2 and 2 at the end of this. Going to drop down to 29 when all things are said and done. Although he could get some value from his skull cap here. Looks like he's just elected to take the arcane, and he's thinking about blocking with the skull cap here. Do you think that would be a good idea, or do you think because there's no on-hit effect, it's just damage to save the skull cap?
I really prefer saving it for the plunder run turn, for sure.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Looks like he disagrees with you and is gonna.
Yeah.
Looks like he's gonna block with the skull cap, saying, "You know what? I'm not gonna be below you in life." For
Maybe he has that good of a
maybe
hand.
that, yeah, maybe he's looking at his hand. He's like, "Well, I'm gonna push so much damage here. I'm not gonna be below you." All right, here we go. A lightning surge from hand's going to eat that embodiment of lightning, coming across for 4 with Gogen. So these first few turns, Bun could theoretically be a bit more defensive, right? While he builds up his shekels.
Absolutely. Yeah, if he doesn't have like an Art of War hand or something like that, it's definitely especially if there's an on-hit effect on the board, such as, anything like a plunder run or anything like that, definitely playing defensive early is definitely beneficial.
One of the things that is so difficult to one of the things that makes defense extremely tricky in this matchup is that the attack pattern is so wide. You don't know what's coming next. So even if Bun wanted to block here, he may be a little bit nervous blocking this attack if something else, like a CNC or a snatch or something comes later. We see that Pudding has a Sigil of Suffering in hand. No doubt that's going to go into the arsenal, and he's going to look to get value from that against some type of on-hit effect, most likely.
It could also be used for pitch, depending on the situation, because we have
Sure.
a Scar for Scar here, and then a Weave Lightning in hand, so we could see a Weave Lightning into that Lightning Surge from Arsenal. So it had go again, and then pitch the Sigil for a Sword Swing. It is
Yep.
definitely a possibility.
Yep. We'll see if he values the damage here or the defensive reaction in arsenal here. I guess it's going to actually depend quite a bit on whether or not Bun blocks here.
Right. If Bun blocks here, I think it's definitely an Arsenal,
Yep.
because you've already won the tempo. However, maybe it's an Arsenal anyway, because pushing the 4 damage, I
Mm-hmm.
think, is probably not worth. If he does get the plunder run out or something
Mm-hmm.
like that, having that 4 block is very handy. And it does 1 damage anyway, so that's never bad.
Yep. Yep. So actually, it's just a net 3 on the Rosetta Thorn. Another thing is in this matchup, neither Runeblade player is running. I mean, they're running AB, but they're not really running AB. So that Sigil of Suffering is
Right.
going to block for 4, and Pudding doesn't need to worry about that. Not blocking for the full amount here. Bun, considering his options here, if he was to block, this would pretty much be the time to do it, because with only 1 card in hand, the amount of possibilities is reduced tremendously. Looks like he's not going to block. He's going to take the damage here. Going to take 6. Pudding's going to put that Sigil into the arsenal and pass it to Bun. Bun's going to flip over a card, banish a card.
Well, that's the perfect shackle.
Yep. So far, Bun's shackles infinitely better than Ellen's, right?
That's it.
100%, 100%. There we go.
Now, the important part here is with the Briar having 3 embodiments on board, you
Mm-hmm.
really want to try and go as low and wide as possible, so that way he doesn't get full advantage of that.
Right.
So it really discounts all your nimbleisms and your minnowisms and things like that. So those might find their way into the arsenal, maybe, depending on the situation. Unless of course, you have to play a non-attack action to get the bounding
Yep.
out of the banish zone.
Yep. That's a great point. Against the embodiments, you want to present a um, attacks that are 2, 3, 4 damage rather than uh, 6, 7, 8. Looks like we have a belittle, and he's going to search for a minnowism here. Likely a red one, I'm guessing, because he already has enough pitch probably for everything he needs to do. So decent chunk of damage. Looks like there's lightning press in Pudding's hand. So that's 1 card that he can't really block effectively with. Um, hmm.
That's the
So
biggest thing about those embodiments is it's not only getting the embodiments, but it's drawing the non-attack actions that you don't need that you can actually afford to block with.
right.
So we might have the case where he just doesn't have any to block with.
Mm-hmm. Looks like Pudding decided not to block there, taking 3. I think these the first attack in these combat chains are basically not going to be blocked because the threat of what's next is just too high.
Right.
especially with an
Absolutely.
Arsenal card. That's something that that's one of the advantages of having a very, very wide attack pattern, is that even if your opponent wants to block, it becomes tricky. So we have a Shadow Puppetry into the Bounding that he banished. Alongside the Minnowism is coming across for 8 here. So if putting one at the block here with some of his embodiments, this would be a good time. Like that Captain's Call could block for 5 here if you wanted it to. That's pretty good value. Blocking for
And not only
5.
that, on the Chane side of the Chane side of the board, with the Shadow Puppetry being played, that does indicate that there's probably um, a attack action card coming after, or he probably would have just shackled, unless he's going to shackle the Sword Swing, which is never bad.
Yep, Bun is definitely going to want to get to 4, 5, 6 shackles ASAP to bring his hero's power level up. Looks like Pudding is going to block with the Captain's Call and the Sigil from Arsenal, pinging Bun for 1 here and covering up everything here. So the Shadow Puppetry is not going to trigger here. Bun with 2 cards in hand. Likely to play one of them out in Arsenal 1, if I had to guess. Looks like he's going to pitch a Flock, make a Rune Chant. He's going to shackle up. Swing the sword for 2, 2, and 1. So if I had to guess, Pudding is likely to put that Lightning Press into Arsenal and wait for a card that he can get more value from it. Unless he's like really dying for an embodiment or 2. So
Right. It's really important for him to maintain at least one embodiment, to at least
mhm.
give him optionals, at least an option to block on the defense, in
Yep,
case he does get the hand player gets the on-hit effects on the board.
yep. So we may or may not see this Lightning Press played. We will find out very shortly. So Pudding's going to tick his Tunic up to 3 and begin his 3rd turn of the game. Looks like he has a Sonata, so a little bit of uncertainty about the power level of his turn. And that might be a Sting of Sorcery. I'm not exactly sure what the other card is.
I think it looks like a Ravenous Rabble, I believe.
Could be, yep. Of it, there's a Sting, there's a Force of Nature, and a Command and Conquer. It's going to take the Command and Conquer and ping Bun for 1.
No, it is a Sting of Sorcery.
Yep.
Well, that's clearly a Sting into a CNC.
Yep, most likely. There's really no other way to play this hand. Yep. So 6 damage coming across, threatening the Arsenal here. So if you were Bun, would you consider blocking with the Husk here, or do you think you can wait things out another turn or 2?
Depending on the Arsenal, if it's like if he got in one of those awkward situations where he like Arsenal to a Ghostly Visits or something like that, I'd probably let it hit. But if it's a crucial like non-attack action that gives go again,
Yep.
they're probably going to get the block from me on that.
Yep. Like a Marvin Skies or Shadow Puppetry or something. Looks like Bun is debating whether or not to block here. Looks like he has a bounding Demigod in hand here. He's about to block with. Looks like he's going to double block this and protect that arsenal card. Looks like he has a ghostly visit, so he can play that out, even if he misses on his shackle. All right, so one hit there. Looks like a force, a pulse of candle holds, I think, in hand, along with the nimblism.
Another lightning blast and
Yep.
arcanic shock.
Yep. So this is not the greatest hand for putting, because it's basically just damage here. But I mean, without an embodiment, he's likely just to take whatever Bun throws at him. Bun's gonna shackle up, play Ghostly Visit from his hand. Coming across for 4 here.
Giving a look at the Briar player's hand, the only card that really looks like he has any interest in blocking is a Pulse of Candlehold,
Yep.
which does naturally block for 3. However, with no embodiments, it really does require the armor to make up the difference on those awkward 4 damage attacks that Chane likes to throw out. So probably not going to see a block here from Briar unless we see an on-hit effect on the board, which we won't. So it'll be a pounding into a sword swing.
So, Bun has not dealt any arcane damage this turn. I mean, if you were putting, would you consider pitching a blue, activating the skull cap to effectively destroy Bun's creepers?
Well, given a look at the hand with the lightning press, the nimblism, and the shockwave, that would mean he doesn't have a blue. The only thing he has is the yellow pulse, so I don't think it's worth 2 cards. But
I mean,
if he did have a blue, I would definitely consider it.
he has his tunic available, so it could be the
Oh, that's
pulse plus tunic. I'm not sure. Like, am I overvaluing destroying the creepers or not here? But it seems like Bun is heavily relying on the Rosetta Thorn's arcane damage to hit here. Pudding is taking quite the beating this turn. Okay,
Well, I guess we'll
decision
see right
time
here.
here. Yep. Looks like he's about to pitch that. Maybe not. We'll see. Yep.
Yep, you're
Looks
right.
looks like he's gonna do what I thought he was gonna do. It's gonna take the physical damage down to 12, but that will destroy the creepers. So, who do you feel is in the better position right now?
Currently, with Husk on board, I think the Chane is in the better spot currently, just because we're going to see this tall attack, and he's going to play the Arcanic Shockwave and more than likely fuse it with the Lightning Press, which would show that there is what's threatening 10 damage.
Yep.
Which tells the other
the
player that either you're gonna break the husk this turn, and which is really gonna devalue the move. So if anything, I wouldn't be crazy about not fusing here in revealing that information.
Right.
Because then it would
Now,
only present 7 damage with no go again,
yep.
and only snaps.
He currently has 2 lightning presses. That is actually extremely tricky. So do you think he could be like trying to bait Bun into blocking with maybe the grasp and then going like, or because if you account for one of the lightning presses and you block with the grasp, then I think you're still maybe you're exactly at 13 there. So maybe that doesn't work there, but um, looks like Bud is more than eager to throw this grasp in front of
Right.
it. I guess he's just thinking about whether or not um, he wants to add a card or two here.
Yeah, I think the biggest decision is does he want to allow the Briar player to get a second embodiment because they already have one off of the fuse on the arcane damage.
Yep.
And also if you overblock here, it's not the worst thing ever because then you know that they either have to burn the lightning press and you actually didn't overblock, or they have to hold it, which is a non-blocking card, and
Yep.
also it's not a non-attack action, an attack action. So I actually, in this situation, do like the overblock by 3 in this
Mm-hmm.
situation.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see if Bun agrees with you momentarily here.
Of course, that always depends on what's in the hand, which we have no
Yep.
idea on the Chane side.
That's the tricky thing about casting these games is we don't even have half the information. We just see what they play. That's looks like Bun is I've seen this exact pose from him many times. Normally when he's like opting with the Aether Spindle after he smacked me in the face for like 8. Um, looks like he's throwing the Carrion Husk in front of it, activating Snapdragons, pitching the Lightning Press, going for 2 and 2. I guess he really wanted that Lightning Press out of hand.
I'm not 100% because he
I've
basically just paid Snapdragons to do 1 more damage because he could have just
Yes,
lightning pressed Arcane and
he
Shockwave. So I'm
yes.
not.
I'm not in love with that play either. Uh, I mean, I guess he really valued that 1 point of damage, or yeah, I don't know. I'm with you on that one. All right, let's see how Bun banishes card. Okay, looks like he got 2 hits there. So yeah, he's 3 for 6 right now. Not bad. Looks like he's gonna play a card from hand here. Nimblism, giving his next attack +3 here. Pitching a Plunder Run, a blue one. Activating Chane's ability and coming in with a Rift Bind. If that's a red Rift Bind, that's going to be for 6, I believe.
It'll
7.
be
7.
7. You get a
7. Yep.
+1. Yep.
3 + 3 + 1. Yep. So that's a little bit of an awkward number to block here. So Pudding has several non-attacks if he wants to block here. And they're all blocking at +2. So he's debating about what to do here. Looks like he's going to block with a Captain's Call, leaking 3 damage here, going down to 9.
I think I see a Ball Lightning, a Plunder Run, and another Nimblism,
Yep. So,
which isn't the strongest hand. So
all
probably
right.
see a lot of blocks here.
Yep, we have a Command and Conquer here threatening that Lightning Press in Arsenal that Pudding put there several turns ago. I
Probably
mean,
be a nimblism and a grass block, probably,
yep,
just to cover it up.
yep. Looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to block out this CNC for 6. And that's going to end the turn here. Chane's going to take 2 points of blood debt. And it's going to be on pudding to attack here.
This is actually a good situation to play the plunder run, or you could save it. But the plunder run onto the ball lightning, and then having the lightning press in arsenal and getting that card draw and the extra damage on it. I did like that, but also, saving the plunder run is never bad.
Yep. I think if the game goes a little bit longer, it'll be more valuable to have the plunder run in the arsenal. But it's quite close here. I guess it depends what he draws. Putting the plunder run into the arsenal is a bit more stable long-term play, whereas playing the plunder run and lightning pressing it is kind of YOLO. And that also might telegraph that the arsenal card is a lightning press. Although, if I was Bun, I would not put him on a lightning press in arsenal, because well, actually, maybe not, because there hasn't been any really relevant on-hit effects, so hard to say. Bun deciding whether or not he wants to block this here.
Well, I think it's a pretty easy armor block, just to maximize the value there,
Yeah, I'm not
unless he
sure.
has a use.
Uh, yeah, it looks like the grasp and the skullcap are still active, so even if this is a red ball lightning, he could just block it out here for 3. Um, there's one of the tricky things about playing Chane is that you don't actually know what you're going to banish. So a
Right.
lot of the times on defense, it's a little bit tricky, like blocking. Blocking is like if you if you banish too many cards with blood debt and you can't play them all, then you're effectively leaking a couple damage. If you don't hit anything, then you know you might as well have just blocked. Looks like Bun is still looks like he's not blocking, and the lightning press is coming out from Arsenal, dealing 7 here. Assuming that's a red ball lightning there. So he should be at 8, I believe. Looks like he's going to Arsenal that plunder run.
And
And
unfortunately for the Briar player, that's probably the worst thing that you could have seen is the Chane keeping all his cards and not seeing a useless card in his hand. So
mhm.
this might just be it.
Bun continues to go 50% on his shackles. He's 5 for 10 now. Looks like he's got a Riftbind and a Shadow Verser in the Banish Zone right now. Got a full grip of cards. This has got to be a little bit concerning for Pudding, especially considering he only has 1 embodiment here. Almost all of his armor is burned as well. Bun is in an excellent position right here.
Oh, not what you wanted to see for the Briar player.
Yep. A plunder run from Arsenal into a Shadow Averser, possibly banishing a card that he can play. Yep. Looks like Pudding thought that was attack for 4. Looks like it's an attack for 5. So he has to throw in the throwing the grasp as well. Accidentally showing him an enlightened strike there.
2 cards.
Yeah, 2 cards there, but
And I think sure, yeah.
I'm this is very tough here because that plunder run is threatening so much here. I don't know if he can block out this whole turn here.
Well, unhollowed for 4, so we'll probably see maybe the Sting of Sorcery or some other non-attack action and maybe give up the Tunic here. To keep that extra card to possibly E-Strike for 7.
Mm-hmm. I am not certain if Pudding can deny a card draw here.
Well, he's got to try as much as he can, that's for sure.
Like, trying to cover up plunder run triggers is... Well, it looks like he's throwing away the Tunic here. Looks like he's dead set on preventing that plunder run trigger. We'll see whether or not Bun can force the issue here. If he has another source of go again, which he does not.
Oh.
Ooh. CNC for 6 here. That's the wide attack pattern that I was talking about here.
And that's a... We know he has an E-Strike. I'm not sure on the last card. But if it doesn't block for 3, then that's probably as bad as it gets.
Yep. If it's like a rabble or a scar for scar,
Right.
snatch, something like that. I'm guessing he has 5 block in his hand because I think this is like an auto block here if you can do it, right? I mean, you're
Right,
preventing a
absolutely.
card
Especially with
draw, and you're preventing a card draw. You're saving your arsenal. Um, yep.
Oh, he elected to take the 6.
Whew. Dropping down to 3. Trigger on the
Which
plunder
means...
run, losing a plunder run. So almost certainly he only had 5 block there. Because that plunder run from Arsenal is so valuable.
Well, that also almost certainly means that we'll see an E-Strike for 7.
Yep.
For this turn.
Yep. Bun will most likely block it with his armor and go into the next turn with an Arsenal, many cards, and if luck keeps up with him, 2 or 3 cards to play from Banish. Looks like an E-Strike's coming in. No card draw here. Obviously not giving it go again, so this is for 7 here. Bun currently has 3 block on his armor. So he could block with his armor, go down to 1. But he has a husk in the graveyard, which means he has to kill.
Yeah, I think you have to at least throw 1 card. I just think it's an unnecessary risk because you don't know what your shackles are going to be. And I actually like a full block here because then you deny the embodiments and really decrease the chance of...
Yep. This is going to be a little bit hard to do if unless he has a defense reaction. Speaking of defense reactions,
Look at that.
look at that. That's the perfect time for Fate Foreseen. It's going to go ops, send the other Fate Foreseen to the bottom of the deck. Doesn't need that.
That's perfect.
And Bun is going into this Shackle 5 turn with a massive tempo advantage here. Looks like he got 1 hit there. 2 hits there. Not bad.
I think that's all you need.
7 of 15. Pretty good. He's got 4 cards now in Banish. 3 cards in hand. An Arsenal. And all he has to do is 3 damage here. The Rosetta Thorn itself already presenting 66% of that he needs. So there's many, many different ways for him to play this out and get over the line here. Pudding's already turned his card sideways in anticipation to block. Yeah, just I see you guys typing in the chat. There are 4 Briars, 3 Chanes, and an Oldhim. I incorrectly wrote that Shing was playing Briar. Shing is playing Chane, and Shing is currently playing against Jack, the Oldhim player, on the other side of the semifinals. A Plunder Run from Arsenal, probably the worst card for Pudding to see. Looks like Bun is going to start the turn with a Shackle into a Bounding Demigon. Underblocking this, probably has a defense reaction in hand. Unless that's a blue Bounding Demigon and a blue Plunder Run. In which case it looks like that was 3-on-3 there. Okay. Yeah, that must
Interesting.
that has to be, right? That's the only possibility there. Marvin Skies into a Riftbind. That looks like a red Riftbind coming in for 5 here, demanding a 2-card block. A damage leaks through. Plunder Run triggers. And with this many cards left, this game is over. Shadow Verser into a Rune Chant, 2-2 something. There's many ways for him to finish the game here. Another Marvin Skies.
That'll get the last card.
Yep. It's blocking out here. Well, not blocking out here with the ball length that doesn't block. So Bun is going to take it, and Bun will move on to the finals. Pudding had a very good run, but his journey will end here in the semifinals. Well played from Bun. I think Pudding also played a pretty good game there, but Bun just had great shackles, great usage of the carrying husk, and just excellent sequencing, and he takes the W here.